The sparrow's not worried about tomorrow or the troubles to come. The lily's not thinking about the seasons, the drought or the flood. The tree that's planted by the water isn't fazed by the fire. So why should I be? 'Cause you take good care of me. You take good care of me. You know what I need before I even ask a thing. And you hold me in your hands with the kindness that never ends. I'm carried in your love no matter what the future brings. Yeah, you take good care of me.
Good morning, church. I hope you're having a blessed day today. Today we're going back into Psalm chapter 94. We're actually going to go ahead and finish Psalm 94 today. And then tomorrow we're going to look at Psalm 95. Psalm 95 it's not exactly an eschatological psalm, but because we're going to read Psalm 96 all the way to 99, I just thought it fitting to go ahead and just add Psalm 95 into the list. And we're just going to go ahead and read it. As we're going Psalm 93, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just going to go right on through all of them. There's a special truth in Psalm 95 about rest. So we're going to go ahead and look at that tomorrow anyway. And we're going to add it into our series on end time prophecy. But today we're going to be finishing Psalm chapter 94. And it's the truth of hope thou in God. And God being our only place of refuge, our only place of hope in a time of immense trouble and pressure that is coming to the earth. So we're going to talk about this a little bit today. Remember, drop us a comment, hit the like button, please subscribe below, share this with all of your friends, and then you can partner with us. If you would like to partner with us financially, you can do that through our website, through monthly giving, one large donation, or you can give in substance if you have maybe a house or a piece of property, maybe you have a church you would like to give. We'll be more than happy to receive in any way that you are wanting to give and as God moves in your heart. So we just thank you for all of that. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into Psalm chapter 94 today. We're going to read through it and we're going to focus on the rest of the Psalm, which is verses 16 to verses 23. So Father, I thank you. I pray you bless everybody under the sound of my voice. Let the word become wisdom, revelation, and the knowledge of your Son. Spiritual seed sown, producing in our body, mind, will, and emotion. Transforming us by the renewing of our mind, conforming us to the image of Christ, growing us up in the measure and the stature of the fullness of Christ. God, we love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Well, go with me to Psalm chapter 94. Let's go ahead and let's just read through the entire Psalm. And then once we read through it, we'll focus on the last little bit. O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth. O God, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. Lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud. Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things? And all the workers of iniquity boast themselves. They break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thine heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger, and murder the fatherless. Yet they say, Lord, the Lord shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? He that planteth the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that chasteneth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth man knowledge, shall not he know? The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Blessed is the man whom thou chasteneth, O Lord, and teacheth him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit be digged for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless the Lord had been mine help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. When I said, my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Lord, help me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. He shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their wickedness, in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off. Now, this is a powerful end to this psalm. And let's just remember what we talked about. We talked about vengeance. God will avenge. He is a judge. He'll pronounce it, and he will bring forth vengeance. The Lord will answer the cry of how long, which is the cry that the martyrs in heaven and the saints on earth will be praying for the intervention of God into the earth. But there are people that believe that they know what's best for them because they don't believe in a creator. So they believe, as the deception in the Garden of Eden, to be like God and to know what's best for them. But everything that they do is in iniquity and ungodliness. It does not produce righteousness and holiness and peace and love. It does none of those things. We gave some examples of that yesterday when it came to the way they made marijuana legal in California, yet the drug market increased. You know, they made homosexuality legal in America, and then domestic violence and all of those things in the homosexual community increased. You know, the same thing with suicide. So they think they know what's best for them. They make laws contrary to God. It doesn't produce the desired effect, yet they don't repent and turn back to the Lord because they still believe they know what's best for them, even though it is proven to go the opposite way. That's a very interesting point, that in America, there are certain things that laws have been passed. It produced the opposite result, yet the people still will not repent and turn back to God and change it and live godly. It's just a very interesting thing, in my opinion, of how man can see evil and see ungodliness, yet persist in ungodliness and still refuse to repent and turn back to the Lord. It's just very interesting that that is even the case. But there is a question that arises by the psalmist. It says, who will rise against the evildoers and who will stand up for me? This is the question. With all of this ungodliness and all of this sin and iniquity and all of these persecutions against the saints and against the people of God, who's going to stand up for me? Who is going to be the one that is there for me when all of these things are happening in the earth? There is but one. It is the Lord. It says, unless the Lord had been my help, I would be vexed and silent. I would have no hope if it wasn't for the Lord. It's the Lord that held me up. It's in the multitude of the thoughts that are, thy comforts delight my soul. It's the Lord. There is no fellowship between the throne of iniquity and the throne of God. There is no fellowship between them. But the psalmist is making an important point. Not only are these things going to happen, and I like to say this, and I like to emphasize this, not to produce fear, because there is no fear in God, and perfect love casteth out fear. There is no fear, but there is a danger, and what you don't know will destroy you. Hosea 4:6. And when you don't know these things, and you don't know these things are coming, it is very easy to be offended. Offended at God, that God's allowing it. Offended at people, that people are doing it. I tell people all the time, there is a truth in John 15, that if you love God, the world will hate you. The world will only love you if you're part of the world. But if you are with God, the world will hate you. They will put you out of the synagogue, which means they're going to kick you out of the church, and they will kill you. And these people will think that they are doing the will of God when they do this. So the reason why we know this, the reason why it's so important, John 16:1, these things have I spoken unto you, that you would not be offended. I told you in advance that when the time comes and these things happen, you make right choices. We see this all the time If I told you tomorrow you're going to go into your job and they're going to fire you, and they're going to fire you, they're going to give you no severance pay, you're just going to be out of a job tomorrow. Well, when you go in there, you're prepared for it. They say, hey, you're fired, dude. You lost your job. Well, what do? Well, you get your stuff and you leave. But you knew it was coming. So you had the time to pray, to seek the Lord, to pray for them, so that when they fire you, you don't act out in an ungodly way. Yet there's a lot of people that if you were to go to your job and you were to walk into your job and they were to say, hey, you're fired, you're going to cause a commotion the whole way out. You're going to curse, you're going to slander, you're going to leave, and you're going to do hateful and ungodly things. You're going to act out in a very negative way, and you're going to act out in a very ungodly way because you didn't know it ahead of time. It's the things that catch you off guard or surprise you, and you weren't prepared for it. People say after the fact, they're like, I wasn't ready for that situation to happen. And when it happened, I made a wrong choice. I did something I shouldn't have done. The same thing, you see this after the fact when people get in arguments or fights with their families. Later on, they'll say, man, I shouldn't have said that. I just got caught up in my emotion. I got caught up in the moment. Should have never said that. Well, the reason why you were caught up in the moment, the reason why you did something you should not have done, is because you didn't know it was coming. Yet the Lord said, these things are coming. That is why we read the prophetic scripture. It's why we understand these truths, so that when they happen, the truth is they are going to happen. There's a lot of people in the church that are like, man, that'll never happen. Well, when it does, you need to be prepared for how you respond, because it's never going to get easier. You know, people are like, well, I'll handle that situation when it comes, or you don't know what you'll do until you're in that. No, I do know what I'll do in that situation, because I'm going to make the choice right now how I'm going to respond when it happens. There's a reason why some people don't get offended when they lose their job, or when somebody slanders their name at a church, they don't get upset and fight back and argue and try to defend them. They don't do that. Why aren't they defending themselves? Because they believe God will defend them. They believe God is their vindication. So there are certain truths in the Bible in which you expose your heart and what you really believe in the middle of a situation. If somebody slaps you across the cheek, do you turn them and give them the other one? Do you turn and give them the other side? People say, oh, I don't know. I've seen this online. It makes me laugh, but it is ungodly. And when I say ungodly, I mean, it makes me laugh because of how foolish it is. When people are like, you know, I'm from the south side of the kingdom. You know, it's like, yeah, you might do that to me, but you know, just be prepared. You know, I'll fight back. It's like, dude, you're missing it. You're just missing it. It's so funny how foolish people can be, that even believers, oh, if you do this to me, just watch out. You know, you can catch these hands. See, believers talk like that. It's like, oh yeah, I might be saved, but you can still catch these hands, talking about fighting a person. It's like, what are you talking about? That is the complete opposite response to what God said in the Bible. You are not supposed to respond that way at all. Yet there's a lot of Christians that if something happens to them, they're ready to fight you the moment it happens. It's like, no, you're missing it. You are missing everything that God is trying to tell you. It's showing the fact you're allowing things to change how you act. Well, I'll act like God until that happens. And when that happens, then I'm gonna act like me. Dude, no. If you change based off another person, you're offended. You're say, well, I'm not offended. I'm just not gonna let them do that to me. I'm gonna fight them. It's like, that's exactly the definition of offense. To be offended means to change your actions based on another person. And if you're changing how you live because somebody does something to you, you're offended. It's that simple. Well, I walk with God. I know I live for God. Yet you come to me and ask me to pray for you, and all you do is slander another person when you call me. That's not godly. It's ungodly. So, the question the psalmist asks, where is my help when these things happen? It's only in God. God is my refuge. God is my help. God is my rock. God is my defense. God is my refuge. It is the Lord. Not only is it the Lord, but all these people come against the righteous. And what does it say? It is the Lord's responsibility to cut them off. He will bring upon them their iniquity. He will cut them off in their wickedness, and he will cut them off. That's the Lord's responsibility. Now, this is what's so important about this. If it is the Lord's responsibility to cut off the wicked and to bring upon them their own iniquity and not only bring it upon them, but to bring on the recompense of the reward based on the action they do in their iniquity, if that is the responsibility of the Lord, then it is not the responsibility of you. Now, a lot of people want to be the one that recompenses the ungodly. You do this to me, I do this to you. I'll take it upon myself. But the problem with that is you do not have the wisdom, you do not have the resolve, and you do not have the knowledge to be able to recompense in godliness. When man tries to pay back man according to what they think is righteous, it always produces ungodliness. You cannot recompense because you don't understand the full scope of this. Well, they did this to me. You don't understand. There's so many other things at play in the situation that you don't understand. You know, and people talk to me all the time. They say, well, you just don't get what they did to me. I know what they did to Jesus. Yet Jesus did not slander. He did not backbite. He did not revile. He did not do those things. He was the example. When his friends betrayed him, when people turned their back on him, when one of his own close friends sold him to have him killed, when Judas betrayed him, he was still washing his feet before the betrayal happened. He never treated him any differently, even though from the beginning, all the way back in John 6, it said Jesus knew who would betray him. Jesus knew Judas was going to betray him. Yet Jesus never, not one time, changed the way he acted towards Judas, even though he knew he was going to betray him. This is the understanding we need to have. Is the Lord your defense? Is he your place of refuge? Is he your rock? And is he the one that recompenses? Or are you? I have people call and talk to me all the time for counseling in different areas. And some of the things I've heard is it's just wrong. They say things, well, they just don't know me. You're missing it. You're just missing it. You don't understand. And then when I tell them that, the number one response they give me, that, well, you just don't understand what they did to me. You just don't understand the situation. Well, I do personally. My entire family walked away from me when I came to the ministry. All of my friends turned their back on me. I have pastors in churches that stood against me and slandered me behind my back. Of course, I heard about it because they called me. I've seen it all. Even when I was ungodly and not walking with the Lord, I was persecuted and slandered and hated on and talked back. I've been through it. And when I was in the world, I fought back and I tried to defend myself, and it was never good. It always ended up bad. But when I came back to the Lord, I made a decision that I would not be defending myself anymore. I would not be the one that's trying to recompense for myself. And I would give space and allow God to do these things for me. So I don't revile when people slander me and talk back. I don't go against them. I don't talk bad about them. I pray for them. Because what I want is I want salvation in their life. I want godliness and holiness. I want them to turn to the Lord and repent. I don't want them going to hell. I want them to repent. I have some things in my life currently, in my personal life, where it's the people are not walking with the Lord. They are doing things that are, if I told you they were ungodly, and they're doing them directly against me because they hate me. Yet when I look at that situation, I pray for them. You might say, do you like it? No. Nobody likes being persecuted. Nobody likes it when people do bad things to you. But I've made a choice in life that the Lord is my refuge. It is God's responsibility to repay. When you get to these points in life, you have to make this decision. Because when the wicked are rising, which they will, and it's going to rise to a level they're going to start killing Christians, what are you doing? What do you do in that situation? Have you made your choices? Have you made choices on how you're going to respond? If they put that gun barrel to your head and say, denounce God or die. Better yet, if they take that gun barrel and put it to your kid's head and say, I'm going to shoot your kid in front of you, or you denounce God, or I'm going to kill them right now. Have you made that choice? Every time I ask that question, the whole room gets silent because most people have not made that choice. Well, I'll make that choice in the moment. No, you won't. You'll make a wrong choice in the moment. Nobody makes right choices in the midst of great pressure. You make wrong choices. Because the circumstance and the emotion, it's too much. You have to make that choice ahead of time. When the persecution comes, when they do these things, because they're going to. Persecution is the only sure fact. If you walk with God, you will be persecuted. That is what the thorn in Paul's flesh was persecution. And God said, my grace is sufficient, because persecution is never removed from the life of a believer. Because God will not override that person's free will to stop it. But there will come a day in which God will judge it openly. And that is when God will recompense them and pay them back for all the choices they made. It is not our responsibility to repay evil for evil. It is our responsibility to love and to pray for those, even if they hate us. Even if it means they kill us. We continue to do what God says, and we don't change based off of another person. You need to make these choices today, because it's never going to get easier than it is right now. Father, bless these people in Jesus' name. I give you all the glory. Amen and amen. Church, I love you. God bless you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow as we're going to go into Psalm chapter 95. Like I said, it's not exactly eschatological, but there's some powerful truth that I want to talk about as we're going to continue to go through the Psalms. So church, I love you. God bless you. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.
The sparrow's not worried about tomorrow, or the troubles to come. The lily's not thinking about the seasons, the drought or the flood. The tree that's planted by the water isn't fazed by the fire. So why should I be? 'Cause you take good care of me. You take good care of me. You know what I need before I even ask a thing. And you hold me in your hands with the kindness that never ends. I'm carried in your love no matter what the future brings. Yeah, you take good care of me. The sun's not worried about the winter, 'cause